How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? This is the radio guy, the Dr. Mike Prince. As you know, we come to you each and every day with the world of HBCU and, of course, my beloved Prairie View A&M University Panthers at heart. But we do cover the rest of the HBCUs, the MEACs, and all this, that, and the other. But for the most part, it's about who you're rooting for. In that case, it's PVU. You can always follow me on Twitter at Radio Guy. Instagram is Radio Guy 22. The website is obnradio.com. And without any further ado, we'll jump right into today's episode. Today, we have a guest with us on the line who is going to help bring some clarity to the report that we gave from the USA Today report on revenues that were earned for the NCAA Division One programs. There were 230 teams listed, and of course, we brought back with the clarity that was the revenue from 2016-17 campaign that was reported as 2017 in 2018, which confuses us all. And here to help bring some rhyme to the reason and help at least me get a better understanding, none other than Miss Monique Carroll from Prairie View A&M University. How you doing today, ma'am?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Mike.
Well, thank you for being available and helping at least a brother like me get some understanding. I've made a report that, the NCAA operates almost like the government, huh?
Yeah, it's a little bit behind. If you're not familiar with the reporting strategies of the NCAA, this could be a very confusing report that came out last week.
So, with that being said, we're going to get brought up to speed. Um, First of all, I'm PV proud through and true. And when I see PV, the hill on top of the hill with $17.8 million in total revenue, my chest was like a peacock walking around here like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Then I looked at the numbers and, I try to be as accurate as I can be without causing too much of a ruffle in feathers, even though sometimes feathers get ruffled with what I do, but it is what it is. Would you help bring some clarity on the ticket sales in particular? We had that $1.1 million in ticket sales. And now that it reflects that this was the first year of the new stadium opening up, it kind of makes sense to me. But just kind of help us on how we got to where we are.
Okay, and I think you said it, Mike. The 1.1 million, that was the 2016 season, and that was all sports. I don't know. A lot of people, obviously, football for us is probably about 75% of that, but that does include your basketballs, your soccers, your volleyball. We brought PV relays back, so it was a lot of factors that year that led to us going from 269 all the way to 1.1 million, which is probably unheard of unless you're doing some of the things we've done, such as building a stadium and how we structure in some of our packages and different sports programs.
Now, when you just said it, Miss Carroll, when you said from 269,000 to 1.1 million dollars, and sounds unheard of, it makes one go like, pull off that Arnold episode. What you talking about, PV? Jumping that high up. But then when you look at it, there was a huge buzz going in the air about the new stadium. Long time coming. A lot of people came out, but there was something also unique in Prairie View's structure as far as athletics were concerned. And you help me if I'm off on here. That's why you're here. You're the expert. I'm just a big mouth. That also was the first year that Prairie View started charging across the table for all their athletic events too, correct?
Right, correct. Like I said, we see the proceeds of that. Uh, the revenues going up, and if you look at it from a traditional standpoint, the ticket sales are always going to go up and down every year, and that's due to scheduling. Now, our goals for that year were 1 million, and so obviously we knew, after the season was over, that we met those goals. But I mean, this should be a number somewhere around this number should be something PV fans should get used to seeing if everybody's showing up and attending the games.
Now, at least for the even years, 16, this year 18, a couple of years from now 20, 22, and 24 are the numbers of significance because there is a game that no one is a stranger to that follows Prairie View athletics. but that State Fair Classic at Dallas. Is this
Right.
some of the contributing factor to the ticket sales as far as counting that $1.1 million as well?
Yeah, and the thing about that, that's actually counted every year because we sell those tickets. So unlike attendance, when it's only counted when it's our home game, those that ticket sale revenue counts every year, and that's why if you go back in history, like I said, you'll see years where Prairie View, before the stadium, did $500,000 in ticket sales, and we know Blackshear and the venues we had at the time wouldn't have been able to hold that capacity, and that's due to that state fair revenue.
Well, it's a reference back to Al Wash, who we've had on this show a couple of times. He says, regardless of what anyone says, he says the biggest payday for Grambling and Prairie View was the State Fair Classic, and I guess the numbers don't lie.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. Before we had the stadium, that was the biggest payout. Now I think we enter home season anytime in the even years when we can have Southern and Texas Southern coming to us in the same year. We know those are two big matchups that our fans want to see. We should do pretty well and give the state fair ticket sales a run for their money.
Absolutely. And we're speaking right now with Miss Monique Carroll. You know what? Give us what your title is. You know, you all got all these fancy titles. So I don't want to just say ticket sales, but what's your title, Miss Carroll?
So my official title was Associate Athletic Director for External Operations, which that includes ticket sales, fundraising, sponsorships, or as I like to term it, the revenue generator.
The revenue generator, the show me the money lady. That's who that is right there. Now, you just brought up something about fundraising, and you said something else as far as donations and sponsorships. Now, does that fall under that area? Because there was another column that said licensing and what was the other?
Rights and
Yeah, rights and
licensing, yes.
licensing, correct. Does that fall under your jurisdiction as well?
Yes, so the contributions obviously is the fundraising that's done directly with athletics. So definitely having the Office of Development and the foundation playing a part in the fundraising. This is just contributions given directly to athletics. So it may not be a picture of the total amount of money that the athletic department may receive financially for fundraising. It also includes the ADs club. So members of that club can kind of see that's where their annual membership contribution is added.
And that's what a lot of people get confused because there are a couple different avenues that you can give to Prairie View Athletics, Prairie View University as a whole. And you might show up on one database system, but not on another database system. And sometimes people can get confused if a person is actually given or not. Is that also a safe assumption to make?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think you could say that with any organization where it's multiple ways to give, one report athletics does may not reflect something that the Office of Development does, and which may not reflect something the foundation does. But that's also something that with Dr. Simmons, President Ruth, that we've been working on collaborating to get everybody on the same page so alumni can have a more accurate picture of the giving.
Absolutely, because the given, the way I look at it, is all going to end up hopefully in the same neighborhood to begin with, and I stress the 300 here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Any alumni, whether it's Prairie View, Pine Bluff, any HBCU, if you could start off with committing to $300 a year, that's one to the university, one to the athletic department, and then one to your department that you completed your degree in. That could be a jump start. And if you get a couple of thousand people just to get on that angle, that could make a significant difference, in particular to that in the world of HBCU. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Any little bit helps. I think sometimes you always want to close a major gift or get a major sponsor, but those $10 a month clubs, $25 a month, $100 a month, that's how you really can sustain giving that can help support any of the, like you said, the university, your college, or the athletic program.
Okay, once again, we're speaking with Monique Carroll. She is the money lady from Prairie View A&M University. It's no need to, as they say, ignore the giant elephant in the room. There has been some changes and possibly some changes to come. How is PV land right now?
I think right now, if you know anything about college athletics, now is the time where everybody's putting their things in place for next year, for the next upcoming fiscal year, for the next upcoming season. So while the students may be gone during times of the summer, we're here and we're working, and we'll be just anxiously waiting the next leadership decision that's made. In the meantime, I say the athletic staff, we're still grinding.
Still grinding. As a matter of fact, people that are interested can now make their season ticket purchases. It's still enough time for that. So, would you share that information on how they would be able to obtain their season tickets?
Okay, so the easiest way, we do have a new ticket website that we're hoping definitely is more fan friendly. If you do go to pvpanthers.com/tickets, that will get you to our ticket page. And actually, July 2nd is the first day that you can actually go online if you haven't already called the ticket office for new ticket sales. So we're giving the customers the driver's seat and then them go pick their seats and do a variety of different things. And you got an opportunity to win some cool prizes. So if you follow us on social media, we're giving away tickets to away games. We're upgrading people's packages. We're doing some things just to promote the new sales.
Okay, and that phone number again, ma'am?
The phone number, if you want to call directly, is 936-261-3970.
One more time for those that are slow like me.
936-261-3970.
All right, and speaking of some new changes, you've also added a new member to the ticket team too. You care to elaborate on that?
Yes, he just started last week, Morgan Plot, and this is a hire that I'm excited about because you always look at hiring experts in that area. And while we've done some very great things over the ticket office, we've grown, and that called for us to go out there and find a ticket expert. So Mr. Morgan Plot, he's coming to us directly from McNeese State, but he spent time at University of Arkansas, at Arkansas State, at Nicholls State, and I'm probably leaving out some other schools. I know he's worked at Alabama within the athletic department as well. So this is somebody that I'm excited about that can just further push us to where we can hit this 1.1, $1.5 million number every year.
Now, you just made a mention. You said a ticket expert, and somebody's listening. They're going like, "What do you mean a ticket expert? He sell tickets." So, what expertise exactly would he be bringing to the table?
I think when you're in the ticket sales role, it's more than just the day to day waiting for somebody to call you. This will be somebody who will be out in the community, in the area, talking with businesses, talking to the churches, talking to groups, doing whatever they can to push ticket sales. Obviously, when you have a dedicated person to that, that pushes you even further. We've had people in place selling tickets. It just wasn't their 100% of their job duty. So now we're moving to a place where we have a person, and that's all that their job description and tells them to do is just sell tickets. And they say not wait for somebody to call you for a transaction, but actually get out there and sell the tickets to volleyball, to soccer, to basketball, football, to everything.
Okay, now, so it sounds like this person would be somewhat of a marketing expert as well.
Oh yeah, you have to have that side and work with our team that we have Mr. Lewis running the marketing side for athletics because you have to be able to see, hey, ticket sales are low. These are some initiatives that we're going to put in place. So you have to be an analytical person that's tracking things in advance to help our external team come up with some strategies because our goal is to put butts in the seats in 2018.
Absolutely. We need the booties and the seaties, please. So dial in and get your ticket purchases on today. Now, there has been some adjustments. Last year, we had a huge show talking about ticket pricing as far as game day experience, walk up experience. Have there been some fine tuning on that or any latest and greatest in that category?
So obviously, if you've looked at the season ticket packages, you'll see that those have either stayed the same and or went down. Especially if you had a football only package, that price did go down. So we're hoping, obviously, with this change in leadership, we've had some predetermined prices, but so we'll know more once we get a permanent leader in place. But I could imagine that it will be something that PV Nation will be proud to see from a single game ticket standpoint.
Okay, then. So I'm going to read in between lines that there's still some adjusting, but just not at liberty to release just yet.
Correct, correct. You hit it right on the head.
Right on the head. They're very good. A good answer, by the way, though. Good answer. We're speaking with Monique Carroll from Prairie View A&M University. A lot of changes going on the Hill, and just to her, still waiting on new leadership to come in and about. What has your experience been like on the Hill? You kind of a long tooth veteran right now, going into your 10th year total. Well, maybe eighth year right now involvement with at Prairie View.
It's been great. And the fact that a lot of people don't know, I spent my high school summers on the campus of Prairie View, attending the pre-college program. If you would have told me at that time, coming from Northeast Texas, that Prairie View wouldn't have been my college of choice, I may have argued with you at the time. Obviously, with athletics, things happen, scholarships get offered, and I ended up going to Langston to go to Pine Bluff. But I think Prairie View was in the cards for me because only a short time later, after getting my bachelor's and master's degree, I'm back here. And I mean, it's truly a great place to work. I think that would be if you talk to anybody in the athletic department, anybody, probably with the university. I mean, everything that's going on. I mean, it's been a great 8 years.
Okay, now a lot of people might not be aware that you actually started off in compliance and you kind of transitioned over to athletics. Number one, explain how they work hand in hand, and then explain how totally different they are.
I think I tell anybody that's young starting out, get you some compliance experience. The value of that is you will always know what the right things to do, what the right thing, what the wrong things are, and then you'll have that internal meter. And when you see things going on, you'll know you need to act. And that's no matter what role you're in. Starting with that compliance background, I think that's brought me to a different place on how I approach things. My compliance officer now, I'm in her office every other day because the rules do change. So even though I have that background, I'm definitely not involved in any of the day to day at this point. And that's good to have that compliance, but it's also so different because once you get out of that compliance, academic, student support services side, you have the money, and those are business deals, those are business transactions. That's meeting with people, talking with people. It is, and that's why I say I oversee external. That's everything that's not on the campus of Prairie A&M University, but you're doing it with the university obviously in mind to help promote the university.
Okay, now I have this question for you because inquiry minds like to know what is your approach? You got a business in your range and you honing in on it. What's the approach on getting them on board to become part of PV Nation?
I think most of it, obviously, just building relationships, and then after that, showing the value of Prairie View. One of the things that I noticed, even going out into the Waller community, Hempstead, not even getting to Cypress and Houston, there are people that close to the university who own businesses who have never been on our campus. So that's always something I take pride in, especially now with our facilities. Even when we were constructing the facilities, we were doing hard hat walkthroughs with prospective sponsors to show them, look at what we're doing here. And the look on their faces when they see everything that's going on, it's amazing. And usually from that look, you can tell, okay, we just developed a new partnership.
Absolutely. I got a little tidbit I'll share with you. Try some power lunches. And by that, I'm simply meaning invite some of the local business for a free luncheon at the MSC, one of those rooms somewhere, maybe something comfy, cozy, 20, 50 people, and just talk Prairie View, engage them, and you'll be amazed at what lies right at your fingertips.
Yeah, definitely a good idea. Definitely.
I'll give you that one for free.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Don't charge me for that one.
Speaking again with Miss Monique Carroll from Prairie View A&M University, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for sharing the nuggets and some insights on what people normally would just kind of overlook and graze. They just assume they show up, sit down, and enjoy the game. But there are a lot of behind the scene moving parts that lead up to that actual game day experience. And with that being said, Miss Monique Carroll, I'm going to allow you to have your final thoughts and comments as we wrap this segment up.
Once again, Mike, thanks for having me on the show, and I'm glad. I mean, I listen to the show, so I'm glad to be a resource to help anybody that understands. Because athletics, I know, like you said, a lot of people see coming to the game, they see it from the outside, and as somebody that's been on the inside, both at our conference office and here at Prairie View, that's my job to help bridge the gap and build an understanding. So I'm happy that I could just provide a little insight today, and any other time that Prairie Nation needs something, wants to know something, even if it's not through this platform here, you can always reach out to me, and any information. If you dealt with me before, any information I can provide, I would definitely give it to you. And just thanks again for having me.
Well, thank you. Did you just confess that you are a Mike Ike?
Yes, look. I'm sometimes behind on the shows just due to my schedule, but I do try to make an effort to listen to anything that's promoting the university.
Well, thank you very much. You've made an old man's day. That is all right. And with that being said, I am going to exit stage left. She is Miss Monique Carroll of Prairie View A&M University. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, coming to you each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Remember to follow me on Twitter at Radio Guy. Instagram is Radio Guy 22. Of course, the website is obnradio.com. In the Prairie View community, you can always check us out at 87.9 FM. And in the case that you're out of range, don't forget our low-tech app. That's simply locking in a phone number and dial 605-477-5066. Until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.